It's Aku again, back again with another enlightenment video. No face today because, quarantine has me just looking a hot mess, but I want you guys to focus on the message. And today's video is basically going to be spreading the word about World Press Freedom Day, which falls on the 3rd of May every year. The theme for this year is journalism without fear or favor, and the sub-themes are safety of women and men journalists, gender equality in all aspects of media, and independent and professional journalism free from political and commercial influence. On that last sub-theme, I think it really applies to us in Nigeria because I don't know if you've heard about the social media bill that, they were trying to pass at the National Assembly before this whole pandemic happened. And I had done an IGTV series on my Instagram, Akubi. Please follow me on Instagram if you're not already. And I'm going to be sharing some clips from that series I did, but then if you see this video and you're interested in watching more, please head over to my Instagram to see the full series. I think that this bill is really scary and we need to really fight to ensure that there is journalism without fear or favor in Nigeria. So if you've been following or paying attention to my feed, I've been ranting and raving about the social media bill that is currently under consideration at the National Assembly. Essentially, the bill seeks to give the government the power to regulate how we use the internet and to sanction people for false statements and fake news that spread online, basically. But hashtag This is Nigeria. A closer look at the bill reveals that there are many issues with it which can hamper our human rights and affect most especially our right to freedom of expression. So obviously, there's been a lot of reactions from individuals, different stakeholders, and the speed at which this bill is passing through the Senate shows that the government is obviously clearly invested and interested in the bill. And so it was very important for me to attend the public hearing so that I could get a general sense of, what everybody's vibe was around this bill. So the intention of this video is basically to take you through what I was able to witness while I was at the public hearing. Okay. See the maze.
His Excellency, President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ahmad Lawan, CON, principal officers of the 9th Senate, laws that will be acceptable and be able to stand the test of time for the advancement of our dear country, Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, we are aware of the interest generated by this bill when it was first introduced in the Senate, which has continued to take the center stage and dominate public discourse. In a nutshell, the Protection from Internet Falsehood and Manipulations and Other Related Matters Bill 2019, which was tagged the Social Media Bill, seeks to, among other things, make provision for a legal framework to regulate and control the use of internet and its intermediaries in the transmission of information in Nigeria. The objectives of the proposed legislation, as stated, are as follows. A, to prevent the transmission of false statements, declaration of facts in Nigeria, and to enable measures to be taken to counter the effects of such transmission. B, to suppress the financing, promotion, and other support of online locations that repeatedly transmit false statements and declaration of facts in Nigeria. C, to enable measures to be taken to detect, control, and safeguard against coordinated, inauthentic behavior and other misuses of online accounts and bots. D, to enable measures to be taken to enhance disclosure of information concerning paid content directed towards a political end, and E, to sanction offenders.
I am most pleased to be here for this important public hearing. This hearing is a crucial one because the bill, that is the protection from internet falsehood and manipulation, has generated a lot of interests and, in fact, passion. And that's not unexpected because the bill relates to the internet, which has become central to our lives today as it has reshaped how we live, how we work, and how we interact. Like every other innovation, it has had its positive and negative sides. While it has somewhat made communications easier, faster, and even cheaper, it has also affected our ability to easily trust some information. When this kind of situation arises, we should interrogate all the sides in the divides on a continuous basis. It is pursuant to our procedure to open up discussions that we have invited you all here today. In assembling here today, however, we need to remember that there are multiple positions on every argument. This implies that we should not just be open-minded and dispassionate, but should be ready to hear the other side, no matter how strong we feel about our own position.
Senate Committee on Judiciary, we are here to take in inputs, and I'm sure that we're going to get a very diverse range of inputs from the people here, and also to assure everyone that contrary to what we have been saying, not every senator is actually for or against this bill. I mean, there's no consensus even in the National Assembly. It's almost as divided as some of the public opinions out there. So your inputs here are actually going to shape the final bill. There is no piece of legislation that will go through this caliber and quality of public hearing and come out unscathed. So please, let's make lucid, cogent, mature inputs that will allow even the sponsors of the bill who are present with us to take in the necessary amendments and hope that we come up with a bill that strikes a balance between national security and the freedoms that some of you expressed the fear might be impinged.
To be fair to him, I did get the impression that not all the members of the Senate were on the same page. It seems like there are definitely some for the bill and some against the bill. I am definitely against the bill. I do believe that the Senate should drop the bill. There's no point in passing it. It is a duplication of efforts because there are already laws which cover, issues like defamation and libel. And, it just will amount to censorship if they do pass this kind of bill that would basically just allow them watch what we're doing. Like, it's such a violation of our rights to privacy, and even more so a violation of our rights to freedom of expression. And, with the pattern of abuse and arrest of journalists, it's clear that it's trying to, this administration is trying to repress us and repress our opinions and any form of expression that goes against what they believe in. And, it hinders our access to justice, especially because it gives so much power to the Nigerian police force. Tell me if anybody has ever gone to a police station here, tell me you've ever gone in and seen policemen using like computers at their desks and stuff. Policemen still keep like written files. They don't even have soft copy files. So that already shows you that our police force is not even that computer literate. So why should it be them that should be able to decide and enforce whether you have made a false statement online, and whether they can track you and shut down your use of the internet and send you to jail? Like, honestly, there's so many layers of this bill, and I really feel like people should definitely take the time to do their own research. A copy of the bill is available online, so look through it and really see what they are trying to do to us in this country. And when you look through it, you will see that this bill is not people focused at all. There's nothing there that maybe you can say, okay, this is like for protecting minors, or protecting against cyberbullying, or protecting really against fake news. And there are no definitions provided in the bill for what exactly a false statement is. So you know that this bill is just a recipe for abuse and disaster. And last but not the least, this bill is not Nigeria focused at all. From the public hearing, you can see that majority of people do not want the bill. There were literally only 3 stakeholders who came and gave their support for the bill. But the amount of people against the bill was so much that the chairman of the committee was actually like, okay, you know what, we're repeating our points now. So he just cut the number of presenters down, because there were 62 people who had written into the Senate committee. So, even when the NTC now came and said that it's not even practical for the bill to be passed because Nigeria does not generate their own internet, we rely on other countries for our internet. It really just confirmed to me that Senator Mohammed Sani was just making this bill for God knows whatever reason. It was not for us. It is not for Nigeria. It is not for the people of Nigeria. So I was actually so unimpressed by the sponsor of the bill, because I expected that he would say something other than, oh, there's fake news and the world is going against fake news, to convince me as to why we needed that bill. Like, is there no other way to go against fake news? I believe that there are definitely more repressive measures that can be taken. Like, I've seen this video that BBC Africa posted on how to spot fake news. I think it's better to inform people rather than criminalize people, but then maybe that's just me. One thing that was very strange to me is that it was an NGO that sponsored the public hearing, an NGO called PLAC, that's Policy and Legal Advocacy Center. And then secondly, there was an audio that was released to us after the public hearing, which showed that the senators were not happy about the fact that AIT was filming the public hearing live. So maybe they didn't really want the public to hear what was going on. And it's so weird when you think about how quickly this bill is progressing. Like, it went through the first reading in November 2019, on the 5th of November. By the 20th of November, it passed the second reading. And then here we are, it's in the committee stage. Here we are in March of 2020, and we've already had a public hearing. Meanwhile, there was a mental health bill, which was, introduced to the House in January 2020. And babes, we're in March, and they still haven't done anything about that bill. So it just shows you that this bill is for them. It's for the executive. It's not for the people. They don't care about us. And honestly, 2023, we all need to be staying woke about who we're electing, because I think those of us at the youth, especially those of us that are like, in our 20s and 30s, we need to actually start safeguarding our future and the future of this country, because things are going downhill and it's scary times right now. But yeah, honestly, I think everybody should just take this bill seriously, and we will just wait and see what happens. But I will be so shocked if this bill is not rejected, because based on that public hearing, this bill definitely deserves to be rejected. Teach people how to spot fake news rather than, criminalizing people who are apparently spreading fake news when there's no real definition of what is fake news or what is a false statement or what kind of statements are likely to diminish public confidence. So yeah, I think that brings us to the end of my rant. Honestly, you're an OG if you've made it this far, but I can't stand this bill. I will be so devastated if this bill is passed, but let's keep watching. Trust and believe. I'll definitely update you guys on whatever I know that is happening concerning this bill, because I stand against the social media bill, and I really hope that you do too.
But we keep waiting on the world to change. We keep on